Hey everyone, welcome to Everyday, and I am D, and today we're going to be checking out VRChat, which is a brand new multiplayer voice chat application using Oculus Rift. It's currently in alpha, being developed by a university student. Very preliminary, very limited functionality, but I still think it's pretty fun to explore. There are some people who are VR enthusiasts in it right now who are talking, so we're going to jump in there and talk to them. So when you start it up, this is what it looks like. You're given just a server list, and you can click one of the default servers to connect to. It'll show you any existing rooms in the list. If you don't see any here, that means you need to create one. And if there is an existing one, you can just hit join to join up. You will need to have a microphone and a headset, or speakers are okay. And it's a push to talk, so you have to use the V key to talk when you're in the room. 3D view only starts once you join a room. Ideally, the menu will be also in VR in the future.
Something similar like this. I created a virtual room and put a large TV. Okay, it wasn't TV, it was just a white box, but I put YouTube videos on there, and it was pretty good, but it was so hard to push the buttons or read something. Once you got the video going, it was pretty good experience, but the input user interface it was pretty horrible.
Hey everybody, I am back.
Hello there. Hi, you've got your name as guest now. I didn't recognize
Oops, I'm sorry, I messed up my name. I think I have to exit to change my name, so I will be right back.
you. Yeah. Alrighty. Hey.
Hi, I'm back again.
I think it must have crashed on me.
Not a big deal. I'm not sure what happened exactly.
Yeah, and then I think the next thing that they could add is maybe like some sort of friends list to keep track of people, because once this application closes, I may never see you people again.
Right, and that makes a lot of sense. Like, in fact, it might be nice if there were like a business card feature where you like walk up to somebody and like you can automatically give them like your contact details and stuff like that, and it just like gets sent to them.
Yeah, that would be an excellent idea if you could have like some sort of storage of contacts and an in-game phone, something modern, but not like I think that they should stay away from on-screen menus for friends list, to keep
Oh yeah,
away
like
from any
I
sort
mean
of.
VR games in general, like on-screen menus are considered kind of a bad practice. It's
I
better
think,
for
yeah,
everything to be embedded in the environment.
exactly. So like the business card thing is a good idea, and to have like some sort of smartphone where we could look down and see who's online and join various other rooms. And once this gets more populated with better support for customization, and
Hmm.
it'd be great.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, MDK, by the way, if you want to speak, you have to hold the V key. No, don't, no, you don't speak.
They might not have a microphone. They might just be watching.
That's,
So talk for a little bit. I'm going
yeah.
to show the viewers at home how like the binaural audio works and how if I turn around, you hear you coming from different directions and stuff.
Sure, yeah, I can start stepping back a little bit too, and I think it's nice how especially if you're wearing headphones, I think that's the best way to experience it. That as I walk away, I actually have to speak a little bit louder in order for you to maintain a listenable audio level. If I walk too
Right.
far, eventually it becomes
So
very
you're very
difficult.
quiet right now, and I have to yell for you to hear me all the way over there, I think.
Yeah, that's true. And if I yell too, you could probably. I think the farthest we can get, I don't even know. I wonder if it cuts out entirely or if it just gets quiet. Try running up those stairs and getting to that back window
Okay,
and
I'm
see if
going
you
up
can
the
still
stairs
hear me.
now.
All right, can you still hear me?
I can still hear you. I can still hear you.
What? It's very, very faint. I can still hear you
You're very
slightly.
quiet.
Wow, that tree is massive.
So this is a coffee shop environment from Unity. I believe it's one of the default environments that you get with Unity Pro. Does anyone know where this coffee shop environment is from? Is it like, does it come with Unity? Is it one of the free ones from their store, or does anyone know?
I'm not sure. I figured the developer of the game did a nice job of making it, but now that you mention it, I assume that it's probably something that came stock somewhere or part of the free
Yeah,
asset
I'm pretty
store or
sure all
whatever.
the models that we're seeing here are stock materials from some kind of model library. Because I think the student is, I mean, they're the person who made it. I think they're a programmer. I don't think they're an artist. Hi, MDK. Can you hear me? Well, I guess you can't tell me if you can hear me. If you can hear me, jump by hitting. Oh, you can't jump, can you? There is no jumping.
The coffee shop is
That works.
Let's see how high we can get.
the coffee shop
If
is modeled
So,
by the
to explain this to the viewers, there is a thing where if you get
yeah,
people all
go
close
ahead.
together, you can push yourselves up using collision and get up in the air a little bit.
Pretty close.
yeah.
There we go. Guest got up
really
pretty high there. Guest, if you want to talk, you just have to press your V key if you have a microphone.
Actually, I just want to say that I know the guy who modeled the coffee shop. It's model library because
Wow.
yeah, the guy who made the coffee shop, he put it on the asset store for sale.
Hey, did you notice the lens flare when you look at the sun?
Oh yeah, that just works. That's pretty cool. I mean, that's probably like just default Unity behavior, but it's still really nice. I'm not quite sure how much sense lens flare makes for the Rift, because for one thing, you only see it in one eye, or you see it differently in both eyes, so it's a little bit weird. And also, like human eyes don't have lens flare. Lens flare is a camera effect. So
Exactly. That's
if the
why
Rift is
Battlefield
emulating
games
the
always
human
get
eyes,
shit
I'm not
for
sure
it.
how much sense it makes to have it. It does look cool though. I kind of wish we could sit down at these tables. Like I wish we had like coffee or food that we could just have sitting in front of us. Like even if we couldn't eat it, just set the tone.
Yeah, like you remember, if you, in VR cinema, when you hit space and your guy sits down automatically, it's very smooth. I like that. I wish you could sit down
Yeah.
in
You
pre-designated
can do it
seats.
in red frame too if you hit the tab key, I believe. It causes you to
Oh yeah.
sit down.
Oh really? I didn't know you could. I know you can lower your overall height if you feel like you're too tall.
Yeah,
Because initially it's
there's
pretty
basically
tall.
if you hit tab, you can sit down or stand up in red frame, and you can do that anywhere, and you can move around while you're sitting down. So it's a little bit weird, but it
Okay.
feels about
Also,
the right height.
question.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm very new at this. I played a lot of demos. Probably not as much as you guys. Maybe like 50 or so. How come is
That's
it
a
like
lot.
almost like 90% of the games I have to force close with my task manager? Is there ways to just close Unity by pushing a certain
There's
key? I mean,
not that I know of. I think there is just because they're development demos that they do that, and because like by default a Unity project doesn't have a quit button or anything, so they didn't bother adding one. But like, I think it should just be considered a best practice at this point that if someone hits escape, your game exits. Like it's not that hard.
I think that especially VR games, especially the roller coasters, should always have maybe not so easily accessible so you don't hit it by mistake, but they should always have a way to quit if you get dizzy or if you suddenly just, okay, this is too much, I need to quit. So because
Well, I mean, you
sometimes
can always
it's
close your
dizzying and
eyes, so there's that.
that is true. That is true. For some reason, because I'm so used to my head being tracked, when I close my eyes and move my head, I feel like my in-game environment moving as if I'm watching it, but I'm not. It's an odd feeling.
That is an odd feeling. By the way, have you guys heard about the Valve VR demo?
Yeah, I've heard it. I've heard really great things about it. Apparently, it's nowhere near even close to being a consumer product because it's actually customized to the room with sensors in the room.
Yeah, basically the walls are just covered in like markers to and the equipment knows exactly where each of those markers is on the wall, and they use that for position tracking throughout the room. Like
It's really
there are
fascinating.
cameras on their headset, and the cameras look for those markers on the walls. I think they're like QR codes or something.
That would be so fun. I really wish I could try it. Just to be. I wonder what the resolution is.
I think they say it. So they say it's a screen per eye, and I think the each of the screens is 1080p, so it's quite a lot of resolution actually.
Yeah, definitely. If it's each screen would make a huge difference.
I think like there's been a lot of talk about whether the Rift should use a one or a two screen solution, and I think what it comes down to is just one screen is cheaper. You don't have to worry about syncing both screens. It's easier to develop for. But it's
That
pretty
is
clear
true. I
that
think that
the aspect ratio doesn't really match very well. Like being taller, each eye is taller than it is wide.
I think that having the first consumer version with a singular screen is perfectly acceptable because the first version should very much be affordable to the average consumer that wants to get involved. And I think it's also perfectly acceptable for them to create more advanced units for people who really are, more elitist enthusiasts that really want and are willing to pay more money for something that's maybe a little more advanced, which is fine down the road, but the initial release definitely needs to be something that can be produced to the mass amount of people
Right.
that are
I mean,
getting
I think
involved.
that the reason they're shipping a single unit out of the gate is kind of the same reason that consoles have fixed specifications, that if developers know exactly what hardware everybody has, it just makes their testing and their life so much easier. And that's really important when they have yet to get really a lot of developers on board yet.
And I've also heard people talking about how, oh, the Steam head-mounted display it just blows like that top post on Reddit that blows the Crystal Cove away. And people say, well, the Crystal Cove it's a prototype to show what they can make with materials that they're using. I mean, I'm sure they have an internal prototype that they don't release to people that is probably super advanced, but it would never deem practical in the home, and maybe that's why they just don't bother showing it. Crystal Cove probably isn't the best that they've got. It's just the best that they've got that would fit for consumers.
I hear different things about that. I hear I've heard that they have internal prototypes that are better, and like they demoed something different to their VC, their venture capitalists and stuff. But on the other hand, they also had the interview in which they said like Crystal Cove was basically the best thing they could do for any amount of money. So, um, I mean, I think like they're definitely making trade-offs to target the consumer version. I don't know whether or not Oculus VR has something internal now actually that's actually better than Crystal Cove. I'm pretty sure they will
I
have
just wish
something
I
better
could have
before
tried it.
release time, though.
Oh yeah, I think I don't know. I have not seen what a 1080p display looks like, but I think that if they could possibly reach 1440p, that would be excellent. And they've already got, because I believe the Crystal Cove is an AMOLED, I believe, and if they've got
Yes,
that,
it's
then that's
AMOLED.
already perfect. Because I have an AMOLED screen on just my phone. When I'm in my room at night using my screen, if I see a black screen, it looks like the phone's off. The black levels are so excellent,
That's amazing.
and the colors are so good. Like, if you have a black screen showing you a bright picture, like when you're watching TV and it fades to black, your room should be dark. It should be dark. But a lot of screens fail to do that.
Absolutely.
But the
And
AMOLED
that's a
screens look
problem with
really
the
good.
Rift DK1 is like if you're in red frame, you go into a dark hallway or something, you're going to see a gray screen, not a black screen. And I think it's
Yes,
so
and that's going
important
to
for
make a
them to
huge
fix that
difference.
because inside the Rift, like it's totally dark inside the Rift, and you will be able to tell if it's not totally black. Your pupils will dilate fully and all that.
Oh, I know it's going to be fantastic.
Let's step outside for a minute.
That's another thing. Can you imagine if they had some sort of voice effects to where if you're inside, it sounds like, because when you're inside of a room speaking versus outside of a room, it does
Yeah,
sound
like
slightly
the
different.
echo acoustics of the room. That would be excellent. Even
Yep.
better if they could have it depend on your specific like location and direction you're looking and everything.
Yeah, or if there was some, background noises, maybe an automated barista behind the counter or something, um, and outside if there was maybe some wind or birds or something, just to add. The more you can do for the immersion, the better. And I feel like, I know it's super
Definitely,
alpha, but
definitely.
I just can see it getting better.
One thing I wonder is, do you think that like these new VR chat applications are gonna like are gonna take off, or do you think it's gonna be more like existing stuff like Second Life is gonna get retrofitted with Rift support, and it's gonna be and those are gonna be how people end up using VR?
Well, I think there's definitely going to be something new that's going to be people are going to embrace and love. But I do think Second Life is, I hope it's, have they talked about getting it retrofitted at all?
I've heard that so there's you can already use it with the Rift with a third-party client, and I've tried that out, and I hear that official support is coming down the line pretty soon, like in January. So I hope we'll find out soon now.
Well, that'd be great. There was a game I played. It's like a rave type of game, like a Buddha. There's a
Buddha
big gigantic
Clovatron.
Buddha statue. Yeah, yeah. And I had my friend play it, and he was walking around, and there's all those ghost type people dancing, and he's like, dude, you know how it'd be sweet if everybody here like had Razer Hydras, and you could see people dancing in real time, and just like go to a club. That would be sweet
Oh
if
yeah,
you
like
could
having a full-blown
go
virtual
around.
club all full of people.
Oh, I know. It's just the different environments. Everybody gets, everybody can be whatever they want to be, and I know it sounds almost dystopia or utopia type of like futuristic stuff, but that's what it's getting there. I'm so excited for it too.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the most exciting things about VR is this idea you can have a social environment in which every they're choosing their avatar, they're choosing their representation, how they want to be seen, how they want to interact with others, and like like everything that limits you about your physical form, about the laws of physics and everything just kind of goes out the window.
Which is good and bad. It's bad because people, can hide behind this avatar and live a different life, and it could become unhealthy. But at the same time, I don't. I want to embrace it, and I'm excited to, because it gives people opportunity to meet somebody that you would never have ever met in any other circumstances because of distance or um, social class or whatever.
Definitely. One thing that I think will be really cool, this hasn't been mentioned yet in the forums, but they've been doing a lot of great work with like speech to speech machine translation, and I can just imagine like a person who only speaks English, a person who only speaks French, hanging out in a coffee shop and talking, and everything's getting translated in real time.
Oh, that would be excellent. And everybody's gone.
People are dropping like flies.
Do you So are you on the subreddit a lot, our Oculus?
Yeah, I am. I have a couple different handles on there. I've posted a few times under this one you see here about my first experiences with the Rift, um, and about I posted one reasonably popular post recently showing my animation that shows how the Crystal Cove um, low persistence feature works.
Oh, that was you?
Yeah, that was me. That was from my YouTube channel that
Oh,
I'm
cool.
recording this for right now.
Oh, well, excellent. I saw that. That was a great animation. It was nice.
Thanks. I am glad that it was helpful. It was a little bit juddery with the way it jumped back, but I'm glad that people found it illustrative.
I've been a lurker for a while, but I've made a couple posts here and there. Usually just asking people questions about what they think about certain things. None of them really go anywhere. I posed what I think it would be interesting to play games like Civilization 5 or like Monopoly, but with the Rift, where you're looking down at the game board almost, and you get to kind of look around, and I think that
Oh
would be
yeah.
fascinating because most games you think would be like first person is great, but to be able to look down at the table, especially at a coffee shop, maybe look down and play chess with somebody, that'd be pretty neat.
Oh yeah, you can imagine. That's one of the cool things about the Rift is just how you can have like you like on your normal PC you have your OS and you launch games and all the games are independent, but I can imagine building a VR world in which like just you have games embedded within games and within those you have other games embedded inside those. It can all be part of a single kind of coherent physical world.
Yes, I know, or like a game you enter and it's like a cafe or something like this, or maybe it's just a Tron-like environment, and you can enter different doors to go into different environments, like a coffee shop, or enter different environments to go into
Oh
like
yeah.
maybe like a shooting type of simulation where you could play with other people, and it's almost like it's a game in a game. So you're not supposed to think it's real, but the game is within the game. People can like join each other and like, oh hey, you want to go play this game, and you go in there and play the game with them. But I don't know, it's just deep.
Yeah, like you don't even have to worry about like having like menus and having to like send each other like IPs. You just kind of follow each other to the place where you want to play and you go play. All right, I think I am going to quickly jump out and stop my recording before I consume my entire hard drive. But I'll be back in a minute.
Oh, okay. I had to answer a phone call. My friend, I just told him about what I'm doing right now, talking with somebody through a coffee shop, and he's like, "What? I'm coming over right now." So he's on his way.
Awesome. As a spectator
But
in real life, or is he
yes,
joining the coffee?
we'll have to add each other. Do you have Steam, I assume?
I do have Steam. I think my Steam name is just my full name. Um, I'll tell you in a minute. I just got to get my recording stopped. I'll be right back.
Definitely. I'll be here.
So that was VRChat. Like I said, this is an alpha version. It's very, very basic, just using standard models and doing some basic tracking of avatars, sending voice into the environment. It does binaural audio, so as people get farther away, they sound quieter, and you can hear which direction they're coming from. And it's already surprisingly easy just to have a conversation in this world, and to get a little group together and have them talk. And I think that this kind of thing will be a big part of what of the social fabric of VR and kind of creating virtual communities that have that where you can have conversations, where you can have other games embedded inside that social space. And I think that social spaces are what is going to solidify the position of VR, because when people have committed social relationships in these social spaces, at that point they're willing to buy into any technology that's going to make that more immersive, that's going to make that more feel more personal and like a closer, more intimate connection. Um, we'll probably see more of this in the future. Definitely when Second Life gets its full support rolled out, I will be checking that out. Um, and there's probably going to be other systems like this in the future. I will keep tabs on all of them because this is definitely, I think, one of the most exciting aspects of VR as it's coming out. All right, that's all for today, and everybody have a great every day.